Yes.
So you mentioned the importance of the pitch a minute ago, and you're standing in front of a room that are going to full of folks that are going to be doing that very thing. Some of these folks have never done it before. Do you have any insight that you might share?
Yeah, we can go on for
48 hours, I might add.
Yeah, we can go. We got a whole different. Yeah, I mean, the key in the pitch is, you know, one is I would follow kind of the Guy Kawasaki rule of the 10, 20, 30. Don't make it death by whatever. Whether you're going to do, you know, purely a flip chart kind of presentation, or you're actually going to, you know, pitch from slides. You know, kind of use the ignite method of, you know, advance the slides every 15 seconds. You know, stay on message. Don't get distracted. But the point is that you've got to be able to set the context. Where most pitches fail is you're so enthralled with the idea versus telling the story. Stories sell vision. Craft your story where the person that you're pitching to sees themselves in the story. Right? So, give you an example. And I'm going to try to word this so I don't get myself in trouble. So I'm looking at my PR person here. So, when I was trying to pitch to a bunch of engineers and explain to them why they had to get out behind their benches and go observe and go watch customers, right? So rather than just saying, go do it, you know, like, oh, okay, well, we'll go do this. Tell a story. So the story is I put myself in the context. Where do I spend my Saturdays? I spend my Saturdays at Best Buy. One of the things I like to watch is buying decisions. That's my key driver there. And so understanding that people buy differently. There's different criteria that people use. Right? And it even varies between groups of people who are buying, husbands and wives, boyfriends and girlfriends, whatever the context is, right? So one of the things that I like to do is to kind of nudge myself in and kind of overhear the conversation, you know, that's going on. One of them's going, oh, wow, beautiful screen, and it hooks up to all the other devices, etc. The other person goes, but I don't like black. You know, I like white better, or, you know, it's too big for the wall. You know, the criteria that two people are using to make making a group decision on something is critically important. Something that you can't get. So I tell this story of some examples, and then the engineers go, I get it. I understand now why I need to go do observations. So the biggest problem is that we like to go through features and functions and performance and market share, and here's the competitors and how much they make, and here's our financial model. We'll make, you know, 2% of that in the first year and 4% the second year, and we'll be 10%. You know, blah, you know, we grind, versus tell the story. Put the person in the context of the idea. Whether you put them in the idea, or if it's an old guy like me, how my kids would be viewed in the, you know, with my, you know, my daughters who are big Facebook, Twitter, you know, and albeit I'm big, but, you know, they're like fanaticals, right? I could say, yeah, I could see Tara, my oldest, you know, she's 26. She would do that, or my son would do that, or, wow, I could see HP doing that, or, wow, I could see me doing that. The key is to bridge that initial part of the conversation, craft a story. Craft a story such that they see themselves in it, that they can see themselves doing that, using that, they've seen it happen someplace else. Then you cross that bridge. Now the rest of the story of, you know, what is it you're actually doing, and, you know, timing and your ask. You know, the one thing I always hate when people come in and pitch me is they go in with the soft ask. We got this really great idea. What do you think? Versus, here's the really great idea. Here's my timing. Here's what I need. I need $5 million. I need 25 people. I need two of you on my board. Be clear on the ask. Because if you don't ask, you're not going to get. And where a lot of people fall on the pitch is not being clear on the ask. Just put it out there. They can say, well, I won't give you 5. How about 2? Okay. You know, put the ask in there. But the key is tell your pitch by telling stories. Stories that put people in the context of the idea. Okay.
So let's say you have a great idea and everyone loves it. What are some of the things that you can do to protect the idea so others can copy it?
Well, good luck. If you can figure out that one, let me know. I mean, look, you know what, HP, we've got, what, 35,000 patents in the patent portfolio, right? Yet we still get sued every day from people who think that we stole their ideas or whatever. There's a couple different ways. You know, one is you know, you can go the patent route, and typically your investors like that because there's some permanence to that value. Reality is by the, you know, depending on the kind of idea you're working on, you know, your idea will be come and gone, and you're working on to the next one before the patent ever even gets issued. So you have to understand the context of timing, given that's going to take you 3 to 5 years before the patent works its way through the process and gets awarded. The other is to create some form of barrier to entrance. You know, do something radically different that's hard to duplicate. That's basically the definition that I apply to what I would call a killer innovation. It's not just about a new idea. It's doing a new idea that's radically different, that's difficult to duplicate. And difficult to duplicate doesn't mean fundamental technology. It could be you go lock up some key players in the value chain to work with you so that anybody else that tries to recreate it can't get access to those key players in the value chain. So it isn't just about, oh, I got this really neat, you know, new social networking site. Think about the ecosystem, and you can create barriers by cutting relationships with key players in the ecosystem or aggregating up players even the same size as you into some form of an alliance that creates barriers. So the key is you want to figure out what would be a barrier that would prevent someone from coming in and doing something similar, and then locking that up as quickly as you can. But other than that, the one advantage that you have in creating in creating barriers to entrance is speed. Speed of execution, speed of customer acquisition, speed of growth becomes the barrier that becomes harder and harder for people to come after you with. And so, you know, don't be thinking that you can create some kind of legal maneuver or, okay, I'm going to create a trade secret. I'm going to have everybody and their uncle sign NDAs, because VCs don't sign NDAs. So it doesn't matter anyways, you know. So that, you know, the legal maneuverings, you know, that's all just smokescreen. Your competitive advantage is to have the best idea, figure out things that you can put as maybe even just speed bumps. They may not be true roadblocks, but speed bumps by understanding the value chain, you and part of other players that have to deliver that capability or that experience to your users. How do you lock up some key players? That's one approach. But the most important thing that you've got in your arsenal is speed. It's just nonstop, flat out, pedal to the metal, grow faster than everybody else. That becomes your competitive advantage. Okay? Yes?
I have one last question. Does your innovation group at HP, do you invest in external ideas?
We don't do direct equity investments. Actually, I finally convinced HP that we shouldn't do that because we suck at it, you know, quite honestly. We tend to, we're you know, we're $115 billion elephant, and we tend to step on the small guys. What we do with small companies, though, is we'll do things like if there's a really interesting idea that we're really excited about, we'll commit to take that idea to the channel, which means, you know, 90,000 retailers, 169 countries, get the HP marketing engine, go really big. And we'll commit to that, which then takes the risk out of the VC investments. And we do that in partnerships with VCs. So for really, really great ideas, we'll actually take that technology to market. We'll ramp up the manufacturing facility if it's physical hardware. If it's software, we'll pre-install it. We'll ship 55 million PCs this year. So you get that kind of an installed base right off the bat. And we do that as a risk avoidance to the VCs in order to get those access to those kinds of technologies early into the process. But you don't want equity. You don't want an equity investment from HP. That would, you know, nah. So got about 10 minutes left before we wrap up. So we'll stop here. So that way, if you want to come and see and play and take pictures, or if there's other one-on-one questions. And with that, have a good trip to Austin. I'll be following you guys. I want to see what the ideas are. And if you do have ideas that you think that HP would be interested in, there's the HP email address. Send it to me, and we'll have people take a look at it. Thanks for coming.